Madam President, Russia continues to engage in ruthless and unprovoked attacks against a democratic and independent nation of Ukraine. I strongly condemn Russia's dangerous aggression against the people of Ukraine. Putin is responsible for the death and destruction in his wake, and he must be held accountable. The one sledgehammer that we can use against Putin is American energy resources. Reducing the amount of Russian energy going to Europe would hurt Russia's economy. The oil and gas revenues made up about 36% of Russia's national budget last year. 2021, Russia sold $100 billion worth of oil and natural gas to Europe. Russia is Europe's main supplier of energy. The European Union received over 40% of its gas imports from Russia. Russia also has significant ownership in Europe's energy infrastructure, including pipelines, distribution centers, and storage facilities. With natural gas prices increasing and oil surpassing $100 a barrel, more of our allies' money will be lining the pockets of Vladimir Putin. Due to high energy costs, Russian oil and gas revenues exceed initial plans by 5% this past year, totaling $119 billion. In 2021, revenues from Russian oil and gas were almost $500 million each and every day. It's a windfall for Vladimir Putin. And as a result, the amount of Russian energy going to Europe is a major problem. We must help our allies escape Russia's energy trap. American energy resources can allow Europeans to meet their energy needs and deprive Russia of the revenue it uses to fund its military aggression. Due to technological advances and an abundance of natural gas, the United States can be a strategic energy supplier to Europe. Our nation has more than enough gas to meet America's needs and to export to other countries. We must speed up the process of getting American liquefied natural gas to our allies. And that's why, Madam President, I introduced S-819, the Energy Security Cooperation with Allied Partners in Europe Act, commonly known as the ESCAPE Act. Currently has 23 sponsors. The bill, as amended, does three things. It deems it in the public interest to export U.S. liquefied natural gas to NATO countries and defense allies. It creates a transatlantic energy security strategy focused on increasing American energy exports directly to Europe. And it directs our NATO representative to help our allies and partners improve that energy security. And so, Madam President, I ask unanimous consent that the Foreign Relations Committee be discharged from further consideration of S-819 and the Senate proceed to its immediate consideration. Further ask that the Barrasso amendment at the desk be considered and agreed to. The bill as amended be considered read a third time and passed, and that the motions to reconsider be considered made and laid on the table.
Is there objection?
Madam President.
Senator from Connecticut.
Madam President, reserving the right to object.
Just to point out, Madam President, members are clearly entitled to their opinions, but they are not entitled to their own facts. And the facts of the matter are this bill that I have at the desk right now includes no sanctions, none whatsoever. None. Zero. This bill that we have at the desk is something that our European allies have asked for. Not to divide them or us. They've asked for this to help them divide away from Putin. They need the energy. They need the liquefied natural gas. Some of the countries have built or are building what are called gasifiers, so they can turn the liquefied natural gas, which comes in at a very low temperature, and turn it into gas that they can use for energy, so they don't have to buy it and be held hostage by Vladimir Putin. And this is a bill that has previously gotten bipartisan support in this very body, with members of both sides of the aisle supporting efforts to help our European allies, our NATO friends, break the dependence from Russian energy. That's the facts of the matter. People are entitled to their opinions. These are the facts. Russia's actions against Ukraine emphasize just how important it is for nations, and specifically for America, to be energy independent. Under the previous administration, America was energy dominant. We became the world's largest producer of oil and gas. It's the first time we were energy independent for nearly 70 years. But this administration has reversed course. It's made it harder for us to use American energy, and that has empowered and emboldened Vladimir Putin. We moved from energy dominance to energy dependence, and we have American energy in the ground that this administration won't let us get out of the ground. We have energy resources that would help lower the cost and help lower the pain at the pump that the American public is living with, and it would help break the dependence of our European allies and the people of Ukraine from Vladimir Putin. Look, we're much better off as a nation selling energy to our friends and having to buy it from our enemies. We need to expand our energy production to bring down prices for working families in this country whose paychecks can't keep up with the inflation. We need to sell it to our allies so they can remove themselves from the clutches of Vladimir Putin. Freeing Europe from Russian energy dependence is going to strengthen both our allies and our NATO alliances. We must provide American energy resources to those countries as quickly as possible. They're asking for it. They want it. They need it. It strengthens our national security and takes money directly out of Vladimir Putin's pockets. And it's this administration's energy policies which has driven up the cost of energy, driven down the production of American energy, which is what's provided a jackpot for Vladimir Putin to fund his war machine. Energy security is a critical part of our shared defense. There's a national security problem for the United States when our allies are more and more dependent on Russian gas. The world knows Vladimir Putin uses energy as a weapon. Energy is called the master resource for a reason. It powers our country, our economy, our military. It powers the world. And Vladimir Putin uses his energy as a weapon to intimidate, to influence, and to coerce other nations. Energy funds Vladimir Putin's aggression, and it has been the cash cow for his invasion of Ukraine. Look, we have abundant natural gas supplies, my home state of Wyoming, amazing energy resources. We just need to be allowed to produce it. Europe's reliance on Russian gas undermines our national security. Our national security is increased by reducing the leverage that Russia holds over our allies. It's time, Madam President, for Congress to provide our NATO allies and defense treaty partners a better energy option that they've had under this administration, and the Senate should start by passing S. 819. Thank you, Madam President.